Whenever we step away from the glare of city lights and just look up at the night sky, it's hard not to feel a profound sense of scale. The stars seem absolutely infinite, scattered like dust across the dark expanse. And for as long as humanity has been looking upward, we've naturally asked ourselves one question: are we alone? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're exploring a deeply fascinating mystery in modern science, known as the Fermi paradox. We're going to look at the math of the cosmos, the total silence we hear in return, and what that silence might actually mean for the future of humanity.
2 trillion. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's the estimated number of galaxies in our observable universe. To put that kind of scale into perspective, there are more stars in the observable universe than there are grains of sand on every single beach on Earth combined. And around a huge portion of those stars, we find planets. Statistically speaking, it's incredibly likely that some of those planets are perfectly capable of supporting life. When scientists look at numbers this immense, the emergence of intelligent alien civilizations doesn't just seem possible, it seems almost inevitable. And if we zoom in locally, just to our own Milky Way galaxy, we're looking at another massive figure, up to 400 billion stars. Even if intelligent life is exceedingly rare, even if only a tiny fraction of these stars have habitable planets, and an even smaller fraction of those go on to develop intelligence, there should still be many civilizations right here in our own galactic neighborhood. The sheer number of opportunities suggest it should have happened many, many times over. So that brings us to the physicist Enrico Fermi. Back in 1950, during what was really just a casual lunchtime conversation with his colleagues about this high probability of extraterrestrial life, Fermi supposedly asked a very simple yet profound question. Where is everybody? I mean, if the universe is overflowing with prime planetary real estate, why is it so quiet? We found no confirmed radio signals, no alien spacecraft, no giant structures orbiting distant stars, just absolute, uninterrupted silence. This tension brings us to the core of our explainer. Section 1, the contradiction. What we're dealing with here is a massive contradiction. On one side, we have the expectation. Math, astronomy, and the sheer scale of the cosmos tell us we should be living in a crowded, bustling universe full of countless habitable worlds and advanced species. But on the other side, we have the reality. 0 confirmed radio signals, no evidence of cosmic engineering, just silence. And so we arrive at the Fermi paradox itself. Basically, it's defined as the profound gap between the high probability of extraterrestrial life and the complete lack of evidence for any alien civilization. It's not just a missing piece of data. It's a true paradox, because our logical, scientific assumptions are directly contradicting our direct observations of reality. To really understand why this is a paradox, we have to look at cosmic time. The universe was born roughly 13.8 billion years ago. Our Milky Way formed about 13 billion years ago. Fast forward, and a sufficiently advanced civilization, even using technology that travels much, much slower than the speed of light, could theoretically colonize the entire Milky Way in just a few million years. Now, compared to the 13 billion year age of the galaxy, a few million years is literally a blink of an eye. If even one civilization started expanding millions of years ago, the signs of their existence should be everywhere by now. Someone should have arrived. So, if the math says they should be here, and our eyes and ears tell us they aren't, how do we solve this? Let's move to Section 2, the main explanations. We can generally organize these proposed solutions into 3 main buckets. First, there's the idea that intelligent life is just extraordinarily rare. Maybe simple microscopic life is common, but the evolutionary leap to a technological species is so improbable it almost never happens. Second, that perhaps civilizations do arise, but they just don't last long enough to spread. And third, that they actually are out there, but for various reasons we simply can't see them. Let's break these down, starting with a concept related to those first 2 categories. This brings us to a pretty famous concept, the Great Filter. The idea here is that there's at least one step in the evolutionary timeline of life that is extraordinarily difficult to pass, a barrier that stops species from advancing. It could be the very origin of life itself, or it could be the jump from simple cells to complex ones, or the emergence of a brain capable of making tools. Now, if the filter is behind us, humanity has already passed the hardest test. But if the filter is ahead of us, well, that means most civilizations reach our level of technology and then hit a wall. So what might that wall look like? It's possible that technological societies are just inherently temporary. Civilizations could collapse due to their own inventions, nuclear war, a sudden climate catastrophe, engineered pandemics, uncontrolled artificial intelligence, or severe resource depletion. If civilizations tend to destroy themselves shortly after discovering advanced technology like radio and nuclear power, then the window of time they are actually detectable is very small. In that scenario, the universe remains mostly silent because civilizations simply don't last long enough to ever meet each other.
But what if they don't destroy themselves? What if they are out there right now? This brings us to theories where aliens exist but remain unseen. First, there's the technology gap. We're currently listening for very basic radio signals, but a civilization millions of years older than us might communicate in ways we can't even comprehend, let alone detect. Then there's the zoo hypothesis, the idea that advanced civilizations know we exist but intentionally avoid contact, sort of watching us from a distance like wildlife in a preserve. Finally, it could just be that interstellar travel is incredibly difficult. The distances between stars are so vast that it might simply be too expensive and impractical to ever leave home.
There's one more major explanation, and it requires a shift in how we view cosmic time. We often think the universe is incredibly old, at 13.8 billion years, but stars will continue shining for trillions of years into the future. By that measure, the universe is still in its absolute infancy. It's entirely possible that humanity is simply among the very first intelligent civilizations to emerge on the cosmic stage. If so, the silence isn't strange at all. We're just early to the party.
Exploring these theories is a fascinating intellectual exercise, but the resolution to this paradox holds profound implications for us. Let's look at Section 3, Why the Silence Matters.
We have to begin here with a healthy dose of deep humility. Every estimate, every theory, and every equation we use to guess about alien life is based on a sample size of exactly one: Earth. We literally only have one example of life starting, evolving, and building a civilization. Because our baseline data is so limited, it really reminds us just how fragile our understanding actually is.
So, what does this silence imply for us? Well, if intelligent life is incredibly rare, then Earth is extraordinarily special. It means we might be one of the only minds in the universe capable of understanding it. Conversely, if the silence is due to the great filter being ahead of us, then the quiet cosmos is a profound warning about existential risks. It suggests that surviving our technological adolescence is going to be our greatest challenge. And if we're simply early, it means humanity's long-term survival is historically significant on a massive cosmic scale. We could be the ancestors of a galaxy-spanning civilization.
Now, this isn't just philosophy. This paradox drives active, daily scientific research. Today, scientists at institutions like SETI are actively scanning the sky for intelligent radio signals. Astronomers are turning highly advanced telescopes toward exoplanets, looking for biosignatures, chemical imbalances in atmospheres that might indicate living, breathing organisms. They're also searching for technosignatures, unusual energy uses or massive structures around stars that could only be engineered by an advanced society. The search is very real, and it's ongoing right now. Ultimately, the Fermi paradox forces us to confront the vast unknown. The possibilities are equally staggering. The universe may be crowded with life we just can't see, it might be entirely empty except for us, or it may be operating under rules we simply don't yet understand. Whatever the eventual answer is, the absolute silence of the universe is one of the most important clues we have about our own place in reality. It suggests that intelligence is something remarkably precious, highly uncommon, and inherently fragile. Until we discover otherwise, the only known civilization in the cosmos is right here. Which leaves us with this final thought to linger on. If the universe is so vast and so old, are we entirely alone, or are we surrounded by a silent cosmos we simply cannot yet perceive?